Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about the latest victim of the ban hammer. The ban hammer has been dropped, and as expected, Flapple has been banned in the expanded format of the Pokemon trading card game. The reason why it's been banned and expanded is super simple. It's only legal and expanded. It's from Rebel Clash. That was the second Sword and Shield set. Frankly, it rotated out quite a while ago. But it has been banned and expanded, and this is something that we need to acknowledge and have a little bit of a chat about. And essentially, it's all because of the release of the new set Mega Evolution, and more specifically, the Stadium card Forest of Vitality. You see, what this allows you to do is, as long as it's not your first turn of the game, very important, you can evolve your grass Pokemon into your grass Pokemon as often as you like during your turn. You don't need to worry about have they been down a turn or any of that garbage. No, ladies and gentlemen, the second your grass Pokemon hits the field, it can evolve up into another grass Pokemon. Now, we've seen this previously, pretty much this exact card with Forest of Giant Plants. Now, let's be clear, it's not exactly the same card. Forest of Giant Plants lets your grass Pokemon evolve, but two big differences. Firstly, they can evolve into non-grass Pokemon. So, for instance, Charger Bug has always been a lightning type, and yet it evolves from a grass-type Grubbin, so Forest of Giant Plants would allow that evolution, because you only look at the grass Pokemon that is doing the evolving, whereas Forest of Vitality would not allow that evolution, because you need to evolve a grass Pokemon into a grass Pokemon, so there is that difference. It is very relevant. And secondly, Forest of Giant Plants would allow you to evolve on your first turn. This does not allow you to evolve on your first turn. And I think that extra little restriction is specifically in there to try and stop this card being broken. The thing is, this card, Forest of Giant Plants, got banned when it was initially released. It was too good, literally got banned. We had Broken Time Space back in the day, which actually didn't get banned, but there's no way that's coming back. That's too good. Every time a Stadium card along these lines gets printed, it gets banned. Well, okay, no, that's not fair. Broken Time Space didn't get banned. But it is broken. It is too good. It causes issues. Broken Time Space was too good back in the day. Forest of Giant Plants got banned. We are not banning Forest of Vitality. We are banning Flapple. I'll explain why in a second. But basically, Forest of Vitality makes Flapple broken. It is going to make something else broken. I think the chance of this card getting banned in the future are very, very high indeed. By the way, there was also an errata we'll get to in a moment. Now, on the website, it didn't actually tell us very much. What it told us on the website was announcement date, effective date, October the 10th, i.e. the day that the set becomes legal for tournament play, at least in the US. The fact that it's a bit longer for us before we get it does not seem to be affecting when it gets banned. And it just says, Flapple has been banned in the expanded format. Oh. Cool. Worth noting there were actually two other prints of Flapple. There was a shiny version of Flapple, and it was also a pre-release promo in Rebel Clash as well. So yay! Obviously, all three versions are banned. It would be beyond ridiculous to only ban one of them. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is we've created a loop. Forest of Vitality creates a loop. We don't like loops. Now, Flapple here, it's all about the ability Apple Drop. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and if you did, shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards back into your deck. Now, the once during your turn doesn't actually matter here. It's kind of irrelevant, because once you shuffle it into your deck, it's gone, and if it comes back, then it's a new Pokemon and it can use it once. If it's hard limited, you can only use one of it during your turn, regardless of how many we've got. Then you'll see the text like we have on Fezandipity, for instance, which says you can't use more than one flip the script ability each turn. So the fact that it's once per turn doesn't really matter because it's once per turn per Flapple, but when it comes back out, it's a new Flapple. Well, how are we getting this out consistently? Well, to start off with, we've got that new Enriching Energy Ace spec. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon that provides colorless energy, but more importantly, when you attach this card from your hand to a Pokemon, draw 4 cards. Okay, that's a really nice draw engine. But the fact remains that once you attach it to a Pokemon, that's your attachment for the turn, and it's on a Pokemon. We need to find a way of getting that back into our hand, and we need to find a way to be allowed to reattach it in order to keep using this. Well, wonderful news. My boy Porygon-Z from Unbroken Bond, yeah, it's a bit old, but don't worry, we're playing Expanded, has the ability Crazy Code. As often as you like during your turn before you attack, you may attach a special energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So what that means is, if we can keep getting this into our hand, we can keep attaching it to Pokemon. Lovely. That makes me very happy. All we need now is a way to keep getting this back into our hands. Jumpluff. Jumpluff from Dragons Exalted. Yes, I know it's old, but we're playing Expanded. And you see, Jumpluff here is absolutely perfect. Firstly, it's a grass Pokemon that evolves from grass Pokemon. So Forest of Vitality is going to allow you to evolve into it as and when you like. And once during your turn before you attack, you may return this Pokemon and all cards attached to it to your hand. Well, that's literally an infinite draw engine, as long as you've got Porygon in play. Because you've got Porygon, Enriching Energy, and Jumpluff, right? You attach Enriching Energy to Jumpluff, draw 4 cards. You bounce Jumpluff back to your hand, and it's all cards attached to it as well. So then you just replay the Stage 2 Evolution line, you reattach Enriching Energy, which Porygon will allow you to do, and you draw 4 cards. And then you bounce Jumpluff back to your hand with the Enriching Energy, which you're allowed to do, because leave it to the wind. And again, I know it says once during your turn, but it's once per turn per Jumpluff, and every time you bounce it to your hand and replay it, it is essentially a new Jumpluff. So as often as you like, you can play Jumpluff, attach Enriching Energy, draw 4 cards, bounce it back to your hand, play Jumpluff, attach Enriching Energy, draw 4 cards. This is important. It means you have infinite draw. You will always draw as many cards as you like. And you're going to draw your Stage 1 Flapple. You draw it. Use Apple Drop to place 2 damage counters, shuffle it into your deck. Oh, what if you can't draw it again? You're going to draw it again. We've got infinite draw. So because Flapple keeps going back to your deck, and Jumpluff Enriching Energy gives us guaranteed infinite draw, we can just do 2 damage with Flapple, put it in the deck, guaranteed to redraw it, 2 do damage, put it in the deck, guaranteed to redraw it, round and round we go. It doesn't matter how many Pokemon your opponent's got in play. It doesn't matter how much HP they've got. You just loop this until they're KO'd. It's a legitimately broken loop. So, yeah, that had to be banned. Now, we've banned Flapple. So, for what it's worth, the infinite draw loop is absolutely still there. But I do feel like this might not be the last time we have a problem with this card. The other one here, nice and simply, we've got a rules and text change to Prism Energy, will be adjusted to only provide energy while attached to a Pokemon. Best way to explain this is to put the 2 versions of Prism Energy side by side, because of course we've got the new version that came out in Black Bolt, but then we got the original version that came around in Next Destinies, and if we put them side by side, you'll notice there is a very small difference in wording, and that is that the old version says this card provides colorless energy. The new version says, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy. It's honestly largely irrelevant, especially because the errata is on the Next Destinies version of the card. The new version is right. The old version is the one that's been errated for the expanded format. But it basically means that cards that interact with energy outside of when attached to a Pokemon won't affect it. It doesn't really make a huge difference. It's more of just a little bit of a cleanup, if I'm honest with you. And as a side note, it does say very carefully, very specifically on the website, that Forest of Vitality will be monitored closely to see if other problematic strategies arise in the future. They're well aware that the Forest of Vitality card could continue to be a problem. Why haven't they just banned it? Because right now they can fix the problem by getting rid of Flapple. I think more is going to happen and it's going to end up getting banned. But then by the same token, the card designers know that Forest of Vitality is out there. So what it might do in the short term is just massively restrict card design. Which incidentally is another excuse to ban the card. Either way, it's not banned yet. I've told you what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.